Alright, what is up guys? Starcraft here, and I'm bringing you guys a different video this time. This is just a game actually from one of my friends. He's like Amish skill level. He's like sub-bronze. So not that that's bad or anything, just he's new to the game. And so what he was asking me is he's just having difficulty learning the game. And so I figured I'd take one of his videos or one of his replays and kind of do an analysis on what he can do better and what he should improve on and how he should go about improving on those things. So this is a bronze level game, so if you're plat to masters, grandmasters, you know, I wouldn't watch this. I would just close it. But if you are anywhere from bronze to gold level player, I think this would be helpful for you because it does touch on some basic to somewhat decently advanced ideas and what kind of things you can, how you can go about solving some problems that you may be having, because some problems that you're having are a lot simpler than they actually may seem. So yeah, we'll just get started here, and like I said, this is just a bronze level game, so don't watch this if you're not bronze to gold league player. So yeah, this is on what is this map called? Oh no, Talder Altar. Oh, I almost looked stupid. Oh, glad I avoided that. Okay, so this is, you know, TVZ on Talder Altar. Double taps. He does not tap once, he taps 2 times. Double tapped, spawning up here in the top right. I don't know why I said that, but I just did, so there you go. And then Bushels, who is my friend, spawning down here in the bottom left, and yeah, we'll be touching on his play. So first thing I noticed when I was watching this game is, number one, this is not a tight wall off. If he had just moved his barracks up a little bit, and then this, where you would have ended up placing the supply depot, would have been correct, but that's not what I'm really worried about. Now, I think to anybody, even a gold player, would notice, why are you taking this gas so early? Now, there are things you can do with a gas geyser this early. You can absolutely do quick, you know, banshee play. You can absolutely go for a quick tank push or just get quick tanks in general. But I'm going to tell you that's not what he does. He actually ends up getting like 2 more barracks before he ends up even getting a factory. Now, I would not suggest getting this early of gas because his money is very low and his gas is almost equal to the amount of minerals he has. There's no need to take this gas geyser unless you're planning to do something gas intensive, because for every SCV you stick on this gas geyser, that's just less minerals that you're going to get per minute. And that's not a good thing, obviously, because he still needs to switch this command center into an orbital. He still needs to pump Marines out, and he's still going to need to put down that factory, because it does require minerals, right? So if he wants to do anything gas related, he's still going to need minerals to do it. So unless he's going for something super quick tech, don't get the second gas geyser. There's no need. And if you're confused on gas timings, when to get your gas, just watch a pro game. Watch MVP and just jot down his gas timings for a certain build. If it really confuses you that much. Worst case, if it worst comes to worst, just trial and error. If you're finding yourself with hardly any minerals but tons of gas, then just don't get gas so fast. It's that simple. So just little simple things like that. And another thing, we talked about getting quick upgrades. One day he was like, Grant, every time I go into a mid-game engagement, I get crushed. I've got more than him or the same amount as him, and I just get crushed. Why is that? And I watched his replay, and he's 0-0, and his opponent is 3-3. And, you know, that's clearly not good. His opponent could engage him any way he wants and win, just because 3-3 is better than 0-0. So what he does this game is goes for quick gas and goes for super fast +1 upgrade. And that's not bad, but the problem is, there it is. There goes down the engineering bay. You've got to find that sweet spot where you're getting your upgrades somewhat quickly, but it doesn't sacrifice anything else that you're doing, because he felt like he needed to get faster gas to get that +1 upgrade, but that wasn't the case. If you look at it, he's floating 200 gas and clearly that's not the best. So yeah, when people tell you work on upgrades, get faster medevacs, it doesn't mean like quickly now go put down engineering bay as fast as possible at 2 minutes in. You know, you've got to find a nice balance of regular play to fixing the issues that you're having. So I mean, just pick a time to put down your engineering bay and get an upgrade, and that's not like 2 minutes. What I'm saying is 10 minutes, put down 2 double engineering bay and get your +1/+1. Not 5 minutes first thing you put down after your first barracks, you put down a engineering bay. That's not what I'm saying either. And see, here's the 3 barracks after having these 2 gases up for a long time, and you know, clearly, why have these gases if you're going triple barracks? And another quick thing that I want to note on is he's not producing SCVs, and his money's really low. So this may seem like he might think in his head like, wow, my macro is super good. I'm keeping my money low. I'm, you know, pumping out Marines, Marauders. I'm getting my +1. I'm in a really good spot right now. But if we come down to it, if we come down to the income and the harvester count, Zerg is pretty ahead. And so when it comes down to an engagement, Zerg is just going to have straight up more than Bushels will. Bushels, what a beast name. Anyway, so that's another thing that could just cause you to outright lose games, is not a high enough worker count. Because your money will be low, you'll think you're doing good, and then you'll move out with what seems to be a good amount of units because you're keeping your money low, right? Why would it not be a good amount of units to have at that time? In reality, you should have much more than you do, because your income's just not good compared to the Zerg. So even though the Zerg's macro may not be all that great, he's still going to have more than you, and the supply reflects that. So always pump out workers. Do not forget to do that. It's super important. So we're just going to fast forward here just a little bit. We don't really care putting down his factory. Not a huge deal. He is going to get that +1 armor pretty quickly after this, getting down this 3rd barracks, and he does end up putting down an expansion at the 10-minute mark. And you know, is that late? Is that not? I think it's late, but you know, I am a diamond player, so like, if you don't have your expansion down by like 7 minutes, you lose the game unless you kill him straight up. But this is bronze play, so again, just pick a timing. What time do you want to get your expansion down? And then just do it. And now a lot of times the issue that players have is, okay, I'm going to get my expansion down at 10 minutes. But then they see a couple Zerglings right out here and they're like, oh crap, I can't. So they don't expand for like 15 minutes. They move out and they realize it was just 2 Zerglings just poking around, seeing when that expansion is going to go down. They feel so restricted all the time. And the answer to that is just don't feel restricted, because you're not. Like, Nick was telling me, which Nick is Bushels, by the way, this Terran player playing. He was telling me that how he feels like he's under pressure, that if he moves out, he's gonna die. And in reality, Bushels could straight up kill a Zerg right now with the amount of units that he has. So he could very easily move out, just throw this expansion safely down right out here, not have to worry about anything. And that's that. And when you're playing, you can't feel so in the dark. When you feel in the dark, you are in the dark. And what I mean by that is, if you're just sitting in your base because you feel like you don't know what the Zerg is doing, then you really don't know what the Zerg is doing, because you are just sitting in your base. You feel like the second you lower the supply depot, bajillion, quadrillion banelings are going to roll in, kill everything. And you know what? We've all been there, and we all have felt like that before when we play this game. But really the solution to it is just don't feel like that. Just don't have that concern, because if it happens, it happens. You lose, you're like, that sucks. But I'm going to tell you honestly, that's not what's going to happen. You're going to lower the supply depot, you're going to walk out, you're going to be safe, you're going to get your expansion down, and all is going to go on, and life will continue as normal. No triple bajillion banelings will roll into your base. You'll be fine. So just pick a time, expand, and stick by it. And then you'll be surprised how well it really does work out for you. And then as you start getting better and better and better, you start instead of 10 minutes, let's expand to 7 minutes. Instead of 7 minutes, let's get our expansion down at 4 minutes. After that first barracks, I'm going to expand. And as you start getting better and better at that, your play, your macro, your income will get higher and higher. Your unit production will be faster and faster, and it'll just feel better. It just really comes in time, though. It's just all about practicing and picking something to improve on and improving on that, and then once you get that down, find something else. So once you get your expand timing down or keeping your money low, then choose something else to work on, because it can feel so daunting to have to work on unit production, SCV production, expand timings, upgrade timings, teching up to starport, teching up to factory, keeping your supply depots down. It can be very daunting, and if you just don't allow that to happen, if you just pick one thing at a time to work on, then you'll be great. You'll be in really good shape, and it'll feel good. So right now we are at the 13-minute mark. Now, for anybody who is an experienced player, you kind of know what's about to happen at the 14-minute mark. Zerg has Mutalisks, and Mutalisk can be one of those units that is just like, how do I deal with this? Because it's not easy. Mutalisks are super mobile, they're super hard to catch, and they're super good. I mean, right here we see I'll just tell you, he gets both this and his main and natural mineral line cleared. And clearly, I mean, that's not something you want to have happen. So one really easy fix is just run your SCVs away. Don't let them just sit there. Just run your SCVs away towards the Marines while the Marines run towards the Mutalisks, and he wouldn't have lost so much. Don't be afraid to box your SCVs and run. I mean, yeah, it's a pain in the butt to just put them back on the gas and everything, but it's better than losing them all, right? And then, again, why? You don't need to bring all of your units. Bring half of your Marines, because honestly, Mutalisks are super flimsy. You don't need all of your Marines to go and intercept this many mutas, you know? Really, this amount could easily take care of these mutas, so you just keep these ones in your main base, so no more runarounds. No more runaround-aroos, and you are safe from Mutalisk harassment. Another thing is he's got this engineering bay down. Now he knows that Mutalisks are out on the field. Throw down a couple missile turrets, although at this point his money is pretty abysmal, so that's just something for next game. Mutalisk came out at 14 minutes. I want to have missile turrets down by 13 minutes. And you only need like 1 or 2. You don't need a whole lot, because really all it does is it's like a buffer. It buys time for your Marines to get and protect your SCV line. Now, another way, a really solid way to deal with Mutalisks that a lot of people neglect to see, is just kill him. Just kill the Zerg. The Mutalisks are in your base. Just get like 10, 11 Marines, 1A, over and try to scare the Mutalisk away. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But just go straight up kill the Zerg, because a lot of times, well, okay, not a lot of times, Mutalisks are super flimsy. So when they sink all this money into getting these flimsy units, you can just go straight up kill his base, because he's either gonna have to straight up engage your Marine Marauder Ball, which is not going to go good for him when he's got straight up Mutalisks, or he's going to have to base race you. And when he's got, you know, 10 Mutalisks and you're at what is this? This is 20 Marines and about 10 Marauders, or 9 Marauders, 7 Marauders, whatever. You're gonna win the base race, because, you know, 10, 15 Mutalisks is not that potent. You'll kill his structures way faster than he'd kill your structures. But then the issue is like, well, what if he's got 20, 30 Mutalisks, and if I base race, I lose? Well, then what you can do is, how about you just place 2 missile turrets, 2 missile turrets, 2 missile turrets, and 10 Marines in your base. Then push out. Again, he's only got Mutalisks. There's no way he's got more than, you know, 20, 30 Zerglings with the amount of Mutalisks that he has, and 20, 30 Zerglings will get demolished by this amount of Marine Marauder tank. Nice unit movement there. That looked kind of cool. Anyway, so yeah, if you're having trouble with Mutalisks, keep in mind they're flimsy units, and people don't like to base race. So if you push out when the Mutalisks are up here, so you know the Mutalisks are somewhere on the map, and you're just like, screw it, I'm gonna go attack, and you push out when the Mutalisks are here, you'll win. You'll win the game, because Mutalisks are so flimsy, nobody wants to base race, and a lot of times people don't think, I've got Mutalisks, they're fast, I'm going to base race with them, and I could win. A lot of times, especially bronze level players, will just 1A, try to kill your army with their Mutalisk, and all their Mutalisks die with really no losses to your army. That's super common, because if we come to the army supply tab, like, Zerg seems ahead. But when it comes down to it, if both these armies came to a clash, Terran would win, because, like I said, mutas are just so flimsy. It's like walking them into a shredder whenever the Marines are in this clump like this. So there goes Bushels moving out, and I think this is a good move. But I feel like it's a little late, because the Mutalisks have already killed his main base. They've cleared his mineral line like 2 times, and unfortunately, 6 Marines doesn't do that well against about 20 Mutalisks. So here's a push in the middle of the map. Don't know what that Banshee is there for. Again, it's just like, why? Why have this Banshee? You don't need it. Just that should be a medevac or a tank or something, you know? So yeah, Mutalisks are not easy to deal with. They're just not. But there's ways that you can deal with them that you may not have thought of, like just go kill him. Mutalisks are weak. Mutalisks are not a strong upfront engagement unit, and if he's making them, then he can't have that much more of other things. Like, Mutalisks are very gas intensive. That means he can't have that many banelings. So if you go and kill him, you kill him. The Mutalisks will probably be forced to leave your base, probably be forced to try to defend, and they won't be able to. And that's just a really great way to kill a Mutalisking Zerg. So we see the engagement come down here. Pretty nice engagement for Bushels. Got a stem coming down, killing all the Zerglings. And just like I said, not that many Zerglings does not fare well against a lot of Marines. And at this point, these Mutalisks are not going to do anything against this Marine Marauder ball. But again, I feel like this was a little late, this attack. He should have done it after the first time his mineral line was cleared. He could have gone and attacked and revitalized his economy just a little bit while doing a lot of damage to the Zerg's economy. So yeah, if you're in this situation after the first attack, you know the Mutalisks are somewhere on the map, but they're not straight up in your base, go attack. See how that works for you. I feel like you'll be surprised. So I will tell you, Bushels does just lose this game outright. The Mutalisks that are in his base right now just kill everything, because the Zerg ends up just expanding here, here, and like down here somewhere. So, with that said, now this all seems like a lot to work on. I need to make a lot of SCVs, or I need to constantly make SCVs. I need to constantly produce out of all my structures. I need to know when to tech up to Starport. I need to know when to get upgrades. I need to know when to move out. Really, here's the things that you should, if you find yourself in these positions or similar positions, really what you need to ask yourself when you have a game like this is, my money felt low. Why did it feel low? Well, if we come to we'll come back here to, let's see, I don't know, like 4-minute mark. Sorry, that's a little too. Let's go to the 8-minute mark. Now, 20 SCVs to 41 workers, to 41 drones. Now, clearly, that's not a position anybody wants to be in. You don't want to have half the workers that your opponent does. So right there, that's why. Just make more SCVs. That's why your money felt low. That's why. That's it. And you also expanded late, and your opponent had a second base up for a good like 4 minutes before you even considered putting yours down. And then mutas. How do I deal with them? Well, you could do it one of two ways. You could just expect them. Just jot this time down. 10 minutes is the earliest mutas you can see mutas. So if you can have 1 or 2 missile turrets up that early, a flock of 8 mutas, which is probably how many they'd have off of that first wave, is not going to do a whole lot against like 3 missile turrets and a couple marines. So there you go. That's problem solved. Put down like 3 missile turrets, 1 in your main mineral line, 1 in your natural mineral line, and then 1 protecting your infrastructure. Like maybe just 1 right here, and then that would be good, and you'd be fairly safe against any amount of mutalisks they could have early game. Another way is jot that 10-minute mark down in your head. Say I'm going to attack at 11 minutes. And what that does is any mutalisk that he has made are going to be forced to help defend. And like I said, mutas are very squishy, so defending mutalisk is a dead mutalisk, in all honesty. That's another great way to deal with mutas. Just kill them, because mutas are harassment only unit, and they die when in upfront engagements. And another thing is, if you're feeling constricted, just don't. Just expand, pick a time to expand, and just do it. If you die, you die, but watch the replay and see like, okay, well, I noticed this happened, and then he ended up doing a 4-gate. So when you send your scout in and you notice these things, maybe put your expansion down, but then send a secondary SCV out and see what he's doing. So at first, just pick a time, expand, do it. And I guarantee 80 to 90% of the time it'll work for you. So pick one thing. Are you going to make SCVs? Are you going to keep your money low? Are you going to expand consistently? Are you going to attack at 10 minutes? Pick one thing at a time and do it, because it can feel very daunting to do all these things that I just listed off at once. So let's say for this specific player here, Bushels, I would say just never forget to produce SCVs, and that's it. And I feel like a lot of his other problems would be solved as well. Mutalisk wouldn't be as hard because he'd have more units. His expansion might not be as late because he'd have more money to work with. And yeah, just so for this specific player, for this specific game, I would say just never stop making SCVs. Your money will be higher, you'll have more units to work with, you'll have more money to work with putting an expansion down earlier, and just things will come together much better. So that's really all I have to say about this game. Now, if you like this video, please comment and tell me. If you didn't, comment and tell me why. This is just really a trial. I'm really curious to see what you guys think about this. I enjoy doing this kind of thing, but if you guys didn't enjoy it, please let me know. And yeah, so that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys next time.